Another day, another podcast, and another really short intro because today's episode was a doozy and it was only 10 minutes. And I say doozy all the time, but I don't even know what doozy means. But I was wrong. I was very, very, very wrong. And in the reflection of being wrong led me to some amazing truths, some amazing discoveries, and some amazing words that I think can help you navigate 2022 and beyond. And so this episode is short, it is to the point, it is packed, and it will support you. I promise. Plus, I really kind of opened up and I read something that I wrote, which makes me uncomfortable every time I read it, even though I have a podcast. But I talked about all of that in this very short episode. So I'm going to shush. I'm going to go pack for my flight. I love you all. Let's listen to the episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Mind of George Show. You would know that already because you already listened to the intro and we're already here. And today's Monday episode, it is Monday that I'm releasing this on, but you might be listening any day of the week, anytime. But this one's going to be short. This one is all about my truth. And so one of the things that I find is that when I allow myself to sit in stillness, when I allow myself to sit in silence, and I practice it, I find my brain going and creating all these creative words and expressions and feelings that sometimes I feel the urge to write. And about, maybe once a month, I write something that just feels like it was a pure embodiment or channeling or flow of my absolute truth. And it's easier to describe when they're my actual words of truth versus when they might be what I'm explaining of like, what are you doing or why do you feel that way? And instead of trying to fit it in a box, I document it with words. I document it with the things that I write and analogies and metaphors. And it's 2022 right now. You might be listening to this in like 2050, and that would be insane. If you're listening to this in 2050, hello from the past. That's a really weird thought that I just thought about, which is cool to think about, but also just is really weird to think about. Welcome. But if you listen to this now, we've been living in an interesting situation for the last couple of years, and a lot of things have changed. And I was on a call yesterday for about an hour and a half, and they asked me to describe what I've seen happening, what I've seen trending, what I've seen changing in the last 2.5 years, but also from a very high level of entrepreneurship when I started in 2009, all the way up to now, 2022, which is 13 years later. And this is this beautiful call. We went through it all. It's linked in our Facebook group if you want it. So make sure. Oh, by the way, we reopened our Facebook group. I closed it for a couple of years. I was completely wrong. And that is about what this writing is about as well. I wrote this once I made a decision. And so we closed our Facebook group a couple years ago because I couldn't manage it. I wasn't sparked up about it. I didn't like where it was going. We were going through staff changes and I needed to pull back. But what's funny is I never deleted it. Like I swore I was going to delete it, but I archived it. And it always stayed in the back of my mind. And then I would sit with it and it would eat with me. And then I didn't know what to do. So I asked my amazing team and I was like, I think we need to reopen it. I miss it. I miss the people. I miss what we're doing. And they're like, yes, we agree right now. And so we reopened it. So if you are not in our Facebook group, we are going to have you go join our Facebook group. It is on Facebook. It is called Relationships Beats Algorithms. Relationships Beats Algorithms. It's the only one. It's ours. We're going live in there. We're connecting. We're helping with comments. We're doing questions. We're doing live Q&As. We're doing fireside chats. We're doing table sides, everything. And so yesterday we had this call and this office hours call about those trends. And one of my through lines was integrity. And me reopening the group was from me realizing when I sat for an extended period of time and really checked in with myself that it didn't feel right to me to not have the group. It didn't feel right to me to have the group closed. It felt right to me to have it open. And I didn't really know what to do with it. And so the group is open again. We are super stoked. We are super ready. We are super happy. And to tie all this together, I'm going to read you a post that I wrote. I'm just going to read you these words because they are my truth. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because the one thing in 2022 and 2023 that I think is going to be the through line through everything is these integrous relationships. The only way to build a business now is through connection. People are screaming for connection. Their consumption is through the roof. They are consuming more. They are online more. They're on social more. They're on their phones more. But where people used to be addicted or on their phones for a exorbitant amount of time, they were using entertainment and humor through TikToks and Reels and Snapchats to escape the day-to-day of work because everybody was out living their life normally. And so social media and the digital ecosystem gave this relief. And it was about humor and pretty high level. And then we transitioned into this crazy state of the world. And then the consumption increased, but also so did the needs. And so now people are screaming for connection and depth. And so now the humor, the education, the stuff on the top, it's only the wrapping paper, and what people want underneath it is deep, committed, connected communities. They want to feel connected. And so they're actually coming into the internet. They're coming onto social media to connect deeper and to have connection points that have been missing for a lot of people for a lot of time. And so with that, the only way to authentically build relationships, build a business, help customers achieve a goal is to be in integrity. It's to be in integrity with ourselves, to make sure that if we have a group open, we want the group open. If we're on social, it's because we want to be there. Because if we put in a half-ass effort, we're not going to get any results. If we take it as a hobby instead of a passion, if we're like, oh, I don't have to do it, if we make it about our feelings and not our commitment, then nothing positive will ever come out. And we are sitting in one of the biggest opportunities of our entire lifetime when it comes to connection and community, because everybody is in this very big state of fragility and on the edge of wanting something deeper. And so, yes, plenty of consumption, Instagram Reels and TikToks and humor and jokes and all of it. But you will also notice that people are going a lot deeper with those that are around them. And you've probably noticed that you've changed your consumption habits and you're more consistently following somebody or people that make you feel good rather than trying to follow a lot more people to consume content. And so with that, I've done a lot of reflection, and that reflection led me to discover that I was wrong. That I was just completely wrong. And I needed to close my group for the moment, but my group, my Facebook group, is the essence of everything that I do. It was the first thing I ever opened as an entrepreneur. It was me on every single day, answering every question, every comment, getting on every phone call. And I love it, and I missed it, and I brought it back. And so when all of this decision was made, I wrote this thing about truth. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to sit with this. I'm going to challenge you to reflect on this. I'm going to challenge you to think on this. Like, where in my life, where in my world, where in my business can I do an audit to make sure that I'm giving all of me where it's required and where I want it, and clean up the areas that I'm not so that I can fully perform and create the things that I want. And so here is what I wrote. You know what? I'm going to take a sip of water real quick, and we're not going to edit this out because this is just who it is and how it is. Ah, that was yummy. So go join the Facebook group, go to Relationship Speed Algorithms, and you'll see the call that I'm talking about. It's posted in there. You'll be able to watch it. But I want to read this to you. I am dying. Time is precious. Dishonesty speeds up the process. I have spent most of my 39 years on this planet lying. Lying as a child to avoid being hit, punished, or targeted. Lying as a teenager to avoid being bullied, beat up, or shamed. Lying as a Marine to survive a physical and political war where I was just a pawn. Lying as an entrepreneur to hide the immense fear, insecurity, and shame I harbored. All these lies carrying the weight of the universe, shackling my mind, my body, my heart, and my soul. Bonding me to scarcity, prison, and mediocrity. Altering my programming, distorting my reality. Lying is a slippery slope lacking a stop. A cancer whose only effective course of treatment is truth. Immediate, thorough, and drastic honesty. A cure that requires meticulous intention, attention, and work to maintain its efficacy. A cure very much like a muscle that must be flexed as much as I breathe. flexing it with honest thoughts and feelings, flexing it with honest conversations and actions, understanding that when I choose to stop flexing, I am self-imposing the shackles I so desperately wanted to remove. At the end of this ride, my only remaining essence is a permanent record of my integrity tattooed into the universe. A beautiful tattoo when prioritized over everything else, a tattoo where every fiber of every line carries the full expression of my unique story, perspective, and gifts. One that is beautifully displayed, calling the attention of those aligned and positively imprinting those who are just passing by. A tattoo whose beauty and message becomes more powerful with every flex of that truth muscle. My truth is all I own, and the depth of my relationship with it determines my success. That is what I wrote. And so as I sit here reflecting and thinking and pondering, I realize that all I have is the choice that I make and the level of integrity that I carry with that choice and those choices, to where I pour into my team, to where I pour into my customers, to where I pour into myself, to where I pour into my family, to where I pour into those around me, to what I put into my podcast, to what I write in my emails, to what I do at my events, to what I do to harbor and build relationships, to what I do to help people that I meet, to improve upon the silence when I get there. The only thing that I have is the depth of my relationship with the integrity in which I am doing it and why I am doing it. And that is the only thing that I am going to be remembered by. And so in this life where I stand today, I say life is too short to do anything but the things that are truly aligned and light us up. And for me, when I say I want to help entrepreneurs, I help entrepreneurs build and scale their business. I help them ethically scale. I help them create amazing world-class customer journeys. I help them with email marketing. That means that I help. It doesn't mean that I help when it's convenient. It doesn't mean that it helps when it only looks a certain way. It's that I really fucking love helping, and I'm going to keep helping. And I have a belief that as I continue to help, and if I keep helping and I have an abundant mindset and I pour into every single fucking person that I meet, that eventually everything will pour out in spades to me, my family, impact the world and everything beyond. And the only reason and the only way in which I can do it at the level that I do is because it is fully lined with who I am, who I want to be, and what the fuck I want to do, which is help you if I can. And that all boils down to integrity. And so that is my message for today on this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And so I implore you, I challenge you to rewind this and to listen to those words again. They are my words, but I hope they inspire yours. They are my truth, and I hope they lead you to yours. And I would challenge you to start making intentional commitments to flex that muscle of your truth, of your power, of your gift, because it's the only way that the world will benefit from what you have to offer. And so that's what I have today. And I feel really good now. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being on the podcast. Thanks for being a subscriber. Please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you leave a review. Go get in the Facebook group. It's linked on the homepage of the website, and so are our event tickets. So our website, mindofgeorge.com, at the very bottom of the homepage, there's a link to get into the Facebook group. Go click it. On the top of the website is our event tickets for Austin, March 25th, March 27th. Go check it out. All the details are there. But with all that being said, and with no further ado, let's cue the outro.